Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Breaking Bells. What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Bells. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the coolest dame in all of Nintendo land.
Well, thank you.
Caro, what is up?
What's up, dude? I feel like, I don't know, I'm kind of jealous that you came up with this name because I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan and I'm a huge Animal Crossing fan, and I feel like this would have been my calling.
Oh,
but
it was, listen, when I came up with this idea for this show, I was telling you before we went on air, it was with my wife, my ex-wife.
Yeah.
And we were talking, we were throwing ideas for the show back and forth. And then all of a sudden it just hit me, Breaking Bells. And we both love Breaking Bad. And I was like,
yeah.
Then I went to Adam Leonhardt and I was like, hey man, I have an idea for artwork I need you to do for me. And he's like, what's that? And I was like, I threw it at him and he was like, I could do that. And then he was like, so then he comes to me like a couple days later and he's like, this is the weirdest and most amazing thing I've ever drawn in my life. And then he gives it to me.
As
I'm like,
that suit.
yeah, I was like, he was like, this is awesome. So, I gotta say this. I want to preface this episode with this. So, when I turned this show into a guest-driven show, okay, let me back it up a little bit further than that. When I left, you were part of PSVG at the time, and you guys merged with Make Us Better.
Yes.
And you guys started doing your thing, and I was just kind of like on the sidelines, watching what everybody was doing. And in the back of my mind, I kept saying, like, man, I would love to do something with Caro. I would love to do a video, something with her, because she is pretty awesome. Aww. And then I come back, and I don't join Make Us Better.
Yeah.
Which I honestly regret. I'll be honest with you. I regret that moment.
It was so short-lived. It was just really unfortunate.
I think it would have been different. If I
For sure.
Come back. And then, so I come back, and I start doing my thing, and then I'm like, in the back of my mind, I kept saying, like, I still want to do something with Caro, but what do I do? And when I actually started to build a guest list, when I took Breaking Bells to a guest-driven show, I had a guest list, and you were on there. You were one of the top 5 on there. Mm-hmm. And then, like, it just kept getting pushed, because then it's one of those things of, like, I have to ask you to come on.
Right,
and
right.
I have to grow the balls big enough to be like, hey, you want to come on the show?
Oh, come on.
So then I was like, whatever. And then the show kind of disappeared for a little bit, and then we picked it back up again for this run towards New Horizons. I was like, that's it. I'm asking Caro. She's on the top of the list. And
you asked me over a month ago, and it just so happens that I come on the week right after we've had the actual direct.
Could you imagine that? You picked this week.
And
it was wide open when I let you pick.
Better Call Saul season 5 is starting on Sunday. I mean, we can't make this any better.
Perfect. It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
It is. It really is.
So
I'm happy to be here.
So real quickly before we begin, because you do stream, just do me a favor, just give yourself a little plug. Let people know where they can find you and all your content.
The Nintendame. Unfortunately, I am not just Nintendame. I have to be the Nintendame because, as we were talking about, usernames suck. But the Nintendame on Twitch, Twitter, that's pretty much the only places that I'm around. I've been taking a little bit of a hiatus from podcasting, but I am here. I will be back on the Nintendo Shack next week, actually. And I will be streaming probably a lot more once Animal Crossing comes out. I've just kind of been in a lull with gaming right now and haven't felt like streaming much.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I will say this, that I'm glad that I got you before Donnie did. Which I'm sure he's like, damn it, Bobby.
I was thinking about going on last night, but he said they were going to have a full house, and I was like, well, you know what?
His loss.
Yeah.
His loss. Yeah. I'll take it. All right, so let's do this. We start every episode with 3 questions. For those that don't know, this is something I do at the beginning of every show when I bring on a new guest, to kind of feel them out, to kind of see where they are in their Animal Crossing lore. So we'll just start it right off the top. Okay. What is the first Animal Crossing game that you ever played?
The OG population growing for the GameCube.
That's how you know somebody is OG. When they call it population growing.
Yes.
Because when people go the GameCube, it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when they go population growing, you go, okay, I got you. I understand where you're at.
Yeah. It was actually, my sister actually discovered it. This was back when Blockbuster had rentals still. And we would rent games every week when we would rent the movies. And she saw it. My sister is younger than me. So she's like, this looks really cute. I want to play it. And she played it. She ended up getting it for her birthday, but I was the one that played it more, and all that in a bag of chips.
All that good stuff.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Animal Crossing game?
My favorite game to date is New Leaf.
Okay.
I just feel like I do have a very big soft spot for the original, but I think that New Leaf has been up to this point more of a culmination of the entire series, and I appreciate all of the quality of life improvements that it had.
And I agree. I think that they took a lot of what was fantastic about what was fantastic about the original GameCube, and then they just dropped it into New Leaf and improved upon it. And I think that's the one thing, and we'll get into it obviously in a few minutes here when we start talking about it, but I feel like that's the one thing that Nintendo's finally learned with Animal Crossing is don't half-step. I feel like Wild World was an improvement over population growing, absolutely, but I feel like City Folk just fell flat. It was a lot of the same.
It was essentially a port.
Exactly. It really was the same game. I mean, there was a few things. You added a city. There was a few changes to it. I mean, the minute they said, hey, you could transfer majority of your goods from Wild World over to City Folk, you kind of knew something was not kosher. Something was happening here. Yep. But at least when New Leaf hit, it was like, okay, we're gonna flip the script. We're gonna change the game and up a level.
Yeah.
And then I feel
most everybody had new models, and it was the style is really pretty. For a 3DS game, I thought that it had a lot of polish.
Yes.
And just very, very good graphics for a 3DS game.
So, the last question I have is, what is your fondest memory of playing Animal Crossing?
It's fond, but it's not exactly. So my sister and I, when we were playing the original, she stumbled upon a pine tree and she was shaking it because she figured that you could actually get bells to drop from trees, and it was amazing. And she shook one, and all of a sudden, a beehive dropped. Now you have to understand, at the time, my sister is probably 10 and I'm 13, so. She's running, and then she gets stung, and there's this big, huge, swollen eyeball, and she didn't understand that it was just the swollen of the skin. She thought that it actually punctured the eye and took the eye out.
Oh my God.
Oh God, we were terrified. We had no idea what actually was going on. And so now to this day, even though I'm 30 and my sister is 27, almost 27 years old, so we go, holes in your eyes, and we just go, and we just cringe. So that's probably my fondest memory. Is just
I'm sure that you loved during the Direct when they actually showed that multiple times.
It's come a long way. It actually looks like a swollen eyelid now. It doesn't look like it's just it literally looked like there was the cavity of your eye where your eyeball should have been.
Pretty brutal back then.
Yeah.
Real quickly, I want to throw a couple things in because I'm just curious. When you play Animal Crossing, what is your thing to do? What is Caro's day when you play?
I have to make sure, it's mostly, I give myself month cutoffs, obviously. I have to make sure that I catch all of the bugs, the fish, everything that's for that month. I like to get that done within the first week, if possible. Now, the dragonflies in August are a little bit crazy, especially because they're rare and all that stuff. But other than that, it's cash. So come summer, and you go to the island and you catch all these beetles and you swap them for bells. And I mean, when New Leaf came out, it was in June. And so we had that summer experience, and we were able to do all that. I think I paid all the expansions on my house off probably within the first week of the game. Yeah. So I'm big on the cash.
Yeah.
And I also got into trading villagers for money, which now for New Horizons, the way that things are looking, I don't know if that's going to be a thing anymore, but I would go on forums and somebody would come to your town, and if they were a popular villager like Marshall or Meringue, you would trade them. You'd get somebody to come over and be like, hey, they're moving out. You can come in if you pay me 65 million right now, and you can get them to come to your town. And that was a thing that I did.
I want to say this. I've talked about this in numerous videos.
Yep.
And I truly believe this is part of the reason why we aren't getting cloud saves. And it's part of what's going on, because they're trying to stop duping and power saves.
That's exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah. So.
And I don't think that they didn't understand that people would like to play between their regular system and their light, and they're like, oh, well, that's a thing now. And they are looking to remedy it. I think they said by the end of the year they're going to be changing it. But I do agree that's definitely, the item duping is a big problem in New Leaf.
That's probably the only thing. That's the only thing that bothers me. I'm not worried about cloud saves, because I get it. I understand what they're trying to accomplish. The only thing that I wish that they would do is allow you to transfer, like they did with Pokemon and other games, where you just transfer the save. Like Splatoon 2, I could transfer the save from my light to my main Switch. That would be the nice thing, and they are talking about doing that. Like I've read a thing that's hopefully going to come as well. But we'll see. So you're the type of person that will collect everything, and
all the things. All the furniture. I try and unlock the catalog completely.
That's what you sound just like me when it comes to this game.
I'm a completionist when it comes to these kinds of games.
Yeah, like I fall in love. I just fall in head first, and I can't stop until I pay off my loan to Nook.
Yes.
And then I fill the museum with the bugs, with the fish, and then the fossils. And I don't really. I've never messed with the paintings and all that stuff.
See, I gotta do the paintings too.
I just can't. I can't deal with Red's nonsense. Like, I can't deal with that nonsense.
Red comes along too infrequently. For the paintings are always the last thing that I have to complete.
Yeah. Because
he shows up whenever he feels like it.
And it takes because sometimes you got to pick. Well, the way it was in New Leaf was you had to pick one of the paintings, and there was one reel out of all of them.
Correct.
And it was like, oh my God, this is a nightmare.
See, I'm an art kid, and I took so many art history classes that they're such familiar paintings to me that I'm like, oh, that's clearly the fake, because they flip the shell on the Aphrodite painting upside down, or he's facing the wrong way in the Kabuki painting. So luckily I knew that.
Well, I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, so let's stop wasting time here. We came here for something important, and let's get to it. The Direct yesterday. Oh my God! Like, what was your? Because my impressions are right up on everything. What was your thoughts?
Well, at first I was mad that they put it on Thursday, because that's the one day that I go in the office week, and I was like, I'm getting there early just so I can shut my door and nobody will bother me while I'm watching this thing. But my overall impressions were, holy crap, this is a lot of information. It's a lot more than I thought we were going to get. I was not expecting 30 minutes. I was thinking maybe 10, 15 minutes tops.
Yeah, you're with me. I'm there.
I loved seeing all of, like, an official, we get the names of the dodos. We get the official names of the new Chip and, oh my God, Nat, who's the chameleon from the previous game. I can't even remember.
Oh, yeah, Nat was the original one. Now it's Flick.
Yep. Flick and CJ, which I'm sure is a Chip Jr. But
yeah.
Daisy May, super cute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really excited to see that they didn't forgo a Direct in general, and they're actually giving us a lot of information, because I felt like we were not really informed on a lot of stuff that was coming up to this point. We had a little 5-minute segment in the Direct from September, and we saw the trailer in E3 last year, but that's been it.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited. I liked the way that they portrayed it as kind of like we're selling you a package.
That was pretty cool, because I had bought into the Disney Vacation Club.
Right?
That's exactly
what they do.
And it's exactly what they do. They take you in, they show you, they're selling, oh, you could do this, and then we could take you around here, and we could do that. And it's like, man, this just feels all too
like
familiar.
Timeshares on condos and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yep.
What was something that you took away that you were like? What was your most amazing moment? Like, what was your favorite moment of the thing?
When I saw that there was landscaping and rivers and ledges, and I think I lost my mind. I like literally was doing while I was watching it in the office. Because I mean that's essentially that's what I've always wanted, because we've had the ability to sort of, well, we actually haven't. We haven't had the ability to choose our own map, which now we get to choose our own map, and now we can sort of change the path of the river if we want. We can build a lake and a waterfall into something. That was an amazing moment for sure. But I'm trying to remember. There was something else that happened that I lost. The amiibo thing.
Oh yes.
I mentioned this to you, but I watched it a second time because apparently I missed it. That you literally tap in an amiibo and the character will show up in a campsite, and you can court them into your town and be like, or your village, and say, hey, you should move here. That was my wish from the get-go when they came out with the Animal Crossing amiibo cards last generation. It's like, I mean, they should just totally do this and just tap it in and you're there. That's how you get the villager.
I mean, it does work in New Leaf now.
Right.
Well, yeah, when they did Welcome Amiibo, that was part of the update and all that stuff. So yes.
By that point in time, I had already amassed my entire village of cats.
Oh, Jesus.
I had done it on the forums like that. I'd bought and sold villagers for the longest time. But now I have a full collection of 461 amiibo cards, and they're going to be put to good use.
You're going to be selling them. That's the problem. You're going to be like, hey, I got Marshall. You want Marshall? And then some kid takes them, and you're like, okay, I got Marshall again.
I don't know. I think that they do have a way around that, because I think in New Leaf they're only allowed to come around one every 16 villagers. So they do it in a cycle. They can't immediately come back.
And I too. I have all the cards.
Yep.
And I have all the figures as well.
Yes.
And I hope we see some new figures. Like, I would like. Don't give me Tom Nook.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, give me.
I need the new Daisy May baby.
Like,
we never got Joan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, give us the ones that we didn't get before. Like, that's what I want. You know what I mean? Like, I want Tortimer. I would love to have a Tortimer.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we got 2 Isabel and. Oh gosh, I can't even remember. I mean, I love Isabel. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of characters
we have 3
we still need.
If you consider Smash too, there's 3.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
There was 2 in 2 different episodes. Quick question, because Captain Red 5, I believe you might know who that is, right?
Yes.
Okay. He's asking, for multiplayer, do you think it should be split screen? He thinks it would be more effective. So the way it is everybody's on the same screen. If you dip out of the screen, like you follow the leader, and if you dip out of the screen, the leader can kind of pull you back to where they are. What's your thoughts on the whole multiplayer?
I think that would be it definitely probably be easier for some people. I don't know if the way that it's working now, if you try to go past the box of the screen that's already there based on the centering of the leader, I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out. I guess you're just stuck.
Yeah.
Multiplayer is something that I will probably dabble into, but Animal Crossing for me is very much a single-handed experience. I'm always playing it, so
yeah.
Even though I could, invite people over to my island, I'm also very picky. I'm like, don't you touch my flowers, don't dig up my trees. I've worked a long time on this, and back when you would put tiles on the ground for paths instead of actual paths.
Yeah. Somebody
would pick them up, and I'd be like, "You're ruining my paths."
Sounds like when I played City Folk. There was 2 quick stories. I was playing, me and my ex-wife shared a town, and that was the one where I didn't realize when you ran, it would eat the grass apart, right? And it would take forever to grow it back. Yes. And I'm trying to figure out how to get the grass to come back. So I go, okay, we got patterns. And I lay everything out, and I tell her, you have to walk on the patterns. And she would be playing, and I'm like, why aren't you on the patterns? Why aren't you on the patterns? To the point where she's like, you know what? I can't do this no more. I'm going to buy my own Wii, and I'm going to have my own town. So that was number 1. And then number 2 was my nephew, or my niece. I bought my niece Animal Crossing because I wanted to play with them, and
Yeah.
I had to Wii Speak, and my niece was only like 6, something like that.
I have no patience for kids either,
Well,
so don't worry about
Well,
it.
it was bad because she's running around, she's picking up flowers she sees, because I got hybrids, and she's picking, and I'm like, no, don't take that, and I'm like, don't run, stay on the path, and I hear my brother coming on, because they can hear everything I'm saying, and my brother's like, yo, you gonna play with your niece, or are you gonna yell at her the whole time? Like, she came to, and I was like,
I'd be the same way, though.
I feel like a jerk.
Whenever kids come into the picture for Brian and I'm gonna just have to get them their own copy of the game because I'll still be playing it at that point probably. Given the fact that it's been almost 7 years since we've had a game, I'm probably gonna still be playing it. But yeah, I don't play nice with other people. If you have no tact when it comes to how other people's towns have been manicured and stuff, and you're just willy-nilly running around, we're gonna have a problem.
It makes it rough. Definitely makes it rough. So, okay. So let's just kind of work through some stuff. We see some people that are back. There's quite a few that aren't back. Do you think they make an appearance? We'll just kind of run through some of them. Like,
right, Cyrus and Reese.
Cyrus and Reese are probably one of the biggest that are missing. And we can now edit our furniture and stuff, which we couldn't do in New Leaf.
Right.
So what do you think that means?
I think they come in as another role or a cameo at some point. And like we just talked about, some characters have been completely replaced. Daisy May is now the new Joan.
Yeah.
Flick is the new Nat. I don't know if they come back in some different capacity for... I can't imagine what they would do. It's just kind of like they're trying to get fresh new blood into the game, which... I kind of am like, okay, I get that you're trying to make new characters, but if they weren't broken in the first place, I don't believe they should be replaced completely. Yeah. I don't know. It's a good question. I think we will see them. They didn't have to bring Isabel back, but they did in some capacity because she's obviously very popular.
Yeah, of course. And
she's going to be in that second little residence chair once it expands.
Yeah. What about Cap'n?
Cap'n. I mean, the dodos are the ones that take you to the different islands, right? So, I don't know. Yes. I don't know. It's there's a lot to be, Rossetti's apparently not going to be in there at all.
No, that's not true. He changed jobs, they said.
Okay, so is he the rescue team now?
Yes. Okay. He's the rescue team now. Who's
scaring kids?
Exactly. So here's one that I'm assuming you've heard, but I don't know. Like, what about Tortimer?
Poor Tortimer. He was retired in New Leaf, so at this point, I'm wondering if he just hasn't gone belly up. Turtles live a long time in real life, Turtles live hundreds and hundreds of years. So,
well, the thing is, I don't know.
How to make an appearance.
Okay, so I don't know if you saw this, and I didn't realize it until I saw pictures of it. There is a burial site.
Oh no!
In the game, if you watch the direct again, at the very end when he breaks through the wall and goes to the other side of the beach, just before he does it, to the right it looks like a burial site with a bunch of hibiscus around it.
Oh God, no! So they can't put death in an Animal Crossing game.
People are saying that they believe that that's Tortimer, like it's his grave site. But I don't know if that's true or I don't know that that's true or not. I would hate to think that that's what they did with him. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of.
He's old for a turtle, but what about all of his little family on the other island? They all had an island. Maybe you can go to Maybe you can go to their island. Maybe
I don't believe that Tortimer's going. I believe that Tortimer will be on one of the islands that you mysteriously get dropped on.
Sure.
That's what I feel like is going to be his role, if anything. Like, he'll just be, like, over there, and he'll throw, like, these weird words of wisdom at you, like he typically does, like Tortimer does.
Yeah. Or you can host the mini games again, like he did in New Leaf. He had the mini game island.
Yes. Now, what about the two cops?
Copper and Booker.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. I mean, eventually, I guess if your town grew enough, it would need a police presence. Mm-hmm. What did they do in New Leaf?
New Leaf, you got to build a police station.
That's right.
And depending if you put in a modern police station or an old police station, you got one or the
one
other.
of the other. That's right. Dang. And then, that's just so unfortunate because I like both of them as characters. One's the bumbling idiot and one's the kind of really straight and narrow. Gosh. I think eventually that you will be able to create a police station. They said that we were going to be creating our buildings this time around up from scratch. And I do think that the police will probably be in there at some point.
I think, I don't know, man. I hope they make an appearance. I hope they come back. Like you said, I like both those characters. I think they're kind of quirky and cool.
Yes. They're original, man. If you take away things from my very first GameCube game, I'm not going to be very happy. Of course, I'm still waiting. I miss kicking around a soccer ball.
Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. So we saw Kix and LaBelle both show up.
Yes.
In the pavilion, like the square. I guess my next questions would be Leaf and Gracie Grace. I mean, Gracie Grace has to show up, right, at some point?
Gracie's always been in the games.
But she's always been like an unlockable type of thing.
Well, yes, except she randomly showed up in the first game. You had to wax her car, clean her car. Remember that?
Yes.
I would like to see her return to form with that. Maybe she shows up in the resident services and her car's messed up and you get to clean her car again and she gives you some clothes.
That would be funny. That would be kind of funny, like a kickback. I like where they're going with all this stuff. I like the stuff that they showed us. Since you're a person that likes to collect stuff, the museum. What did you think of the museum?
Oh my god, the museum is gorgeous. Sitting in the butterfly, I guess. Oh, that's going to be one of my favorite places. Just sitting around all of the butterflies. There was another area that had kind of like the water going around. That there was an enclosure of bugs. Just gorgeous. I think they really, really amped it up. It's just somewhere that I would actually want to sit and spend time in and really appreciate looking at my collection.
Yeah. I think when I used to play New Leaf, I would go to the aquarium. I would do two things. I would go to the bugs to watch the tarantula and the scorpion fight each other.
Yeah.
And then I would go to the fish, and I would...
The piranha chase
you. Yeah, and it's like banging into the glass trying to get you. And I was like, that is so cool, man. Good. But these things look so realistic in terms of the glass cases, and we've come such a far way with this game.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
I really loved the bug area in New Leaf. I liked the whole area where they were interacting with them and they just weren't in cages like they were previously. But I think that the aquarium is a big upgrade. They're just not separated into this whole area of freshwater, saltwater, and deep sea. It looked like there was a lot more going on.
So the one other thing that stood out to me that was kind of like what's going on here is when you go into the airport, you can get postcards, which you can send to people, which was typically used to do letters.
Right, stationary.
So, post office and Pelly and Pete and all them, I guess they might be going as well. And
I don't know. That's a good question because you do have a mailbox. We did see that there is a mailbox that you can add to your... I'm wondering if maybe that's part of you have to upgrade your house enough to the point that you unlock a post office because if you're not a permanent resident and you don't have permanent residence on your island, there's really no need for a post office.
Yes.
But I think the post office is probably going to be an unlockable thing and we'll see the pelicans again.
I hope
hopefully.
So. I hope so. All right, so what's your thoughts about the Nook mileage?
I like it insofar as it's kind of a different point system. It's different currency from bells, but it incentivizes you or new players especially to do things that they might not know what to do. It's like, hey, by the way, you can catch all of these bugs and actually sell them for pretty good money. I like that it's basically an incentive thing. Of course, I'm going to be doing all of it just to check them off my box.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, if it's a thing that goes alongside collecting bells and it's not just a complete replacement for bells, which it's obviously doesn't seem to be.
No.
Then I think we're good.
Because I think because the way it looked was this: it reminds me of like not the, it wasn't the street pass coins. It was the tokens that you should get for walking.
Yeah.
That would unlock Nintendo items, right? So this reminds me of a separate currency that will allow you to do different things. So basically, of course, Tom Nook would charge you to actually be on this, be on this deserted island. That it's not just you're not just by yourself. You got 2 other people with you when you come. So it makes total sense that he would do something like that.
Sure.
So it's cool that the first step is to pay off your trip with these Nook miles, but then you get to unlock all this exclusive gear. And it's not just gear though; it's also
yeah, it's essentially blueprints for crafting and stuff is what I saw, and I do think that you get your building permit through that as well. I'm not sure if I saw that correctly or not, but it seems like that's unlockable through the miles and gets put on your phone.
Also, the other thing that's definitely in there is the ability, I guess you would call it the OS or something, basically the way the layout is of your items. So you can have a circle go around you, or you're basically unlocking these different things that way that can basically change the way everything appears.
Or just make it a better quality of life for the game. You're not sitting and going through each individual item as you're pulling up a shortcut menu, pretty much.
I thought that was so cool that when it was time to get changed, she just literally, this thing popped open. And then she picked what she wanted and boom, it closes and she's instantly changed. I'm like, this is so cool. I love the changes, the quality of life changes that they made to this game. It was the original game was this is your life. This is you're living in this world with these animals and this is what it is. But this felt okay, we get it. Yes, you're playing, but we're also playing a game. So we're going to gamify it, and you can stack items rather than have.
Thank God.
Oh my God, 16 pocket spaces, and that's all you have.
We have a storage for our house now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, they really have listened to the gripes and the recommendations from players over the years, and this is pretty much a culmination. This is even a bigger culmination than what we had from New Leaf.
Yeah.
Everything's pretty much been polished to perfection almost.
The placing of the animals.
See, a lot of people don't like it because they're like, oh, you're not giving them their own thing. But for somebody like me who laid out their paths before, and then somebody moves in right in the middle of my hybrids or my, oh my gosh. So that drove me crazy. But now we have designated areas and it's going to be great. That's something that the really, really anal me is going to thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah. Dragon Slayer just said that he believes that the gravesite is actually wisps.
Oh, that would be quite adorable, and it would explain the presence of a ghost.
Yes, that would make a lot of sense. It would make me happy to know that Tom Nook isn't dead.
Tortimer, yeah.
Yeah, no, Tortimer, not Tom Nook. Not Tom Nook, Tortimer. Designing the towns already. So crazy. Okay, so, sorry, I was just reading something Joyce Blatt said, so I'll have to check that out in a minute. So the Nook, okay, so this app, right? Nook Link. What's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I think it's the best utilization that we've had on the Nintendo Switch Online app, probably since the Splatoon, just the voice chat. The fact that we can type our messages through the app and they'll pop up in game is pretty stinking awesome. It takes me forever to go through the keyboard on the Switch as it is, and everybody texts a mile a minute these days. The voice chat, I did use it some back with the Wii Speak in City Folk, but most of the time if I'm hanging out with somebody, we're already on Discord voice chat or something like that. So it's not necessary for me to have a voice chat in the Nintendo Online thing, but I do appreciate being able to do the typing messages on your phone and have them pop up in the game. I think that's a lot easier. So I can scream at people, do not run.
That is pretty cool. I do like that. And I also feel like they're going to do something very similar to Splatoon, where you're going to be able to buy clothing
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think there's going to be. I might have to start getting back on Pocket Camp because I have a feeling that there's going to be some very exclusive items that are only attainable through Pocket Camp and vice versa. And
something like that. They'd have me in there.
Oh, they absolutely will.
Stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so I want to do this. Here's the thing. I'm going to show you something. Joey Splats just tweeted me in this.
Oh boy.
I think this is unbelievable. People are already designing their towns, the way they're going to lay them out. And I don't know if you can see this or not.
Okay, so I've already kind of started sketching out things as well.
It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I haven't gone so far as putting things in, but I do love Photoshop, and I'm one of those people that will actually lay out my rooms and towns in certain capacity on Photoshop. So I'm gonna steal that idea. I've been sketching it out in my mind where I want the river to go, and as long as I've got something that looks like a good start, I mean, eventually it doesn't matter. I'm gonna have a building permit, and I'm gonna be flooding everything anyway. So.
It's nuts. I believe it's really crazy that it. I'm not surprised. It's Animal Crossing. I'm not surprised at all. Like, you go to people's towns, and that's the one thing I hope comes back is the Dream Suite. Because I want to be able to go see people's towns.
See everybody's creations.
That was the best
I got
thing.
so much good inspiration for certain things from a lot of the Japanese people are on another level. When I would go to a Japanese town, it was just, it's like, wow, I would have never thought to have used certain items that way, or built, people were building fences with bushes and stuff before. Now we have fences. It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
But like, exactly what you say. Like, when I would go to Japanese towns, it was like the minute you dropped, you were like, okay, I'm in a Japanese town. Like, you knew immediately.
Yes.
Like, the attention to detail, the bamboo, they line the bamboo up a certain way, and they'd have stuff.
Oh, have you seen the bamboo in this game?
The
bamboo shoots are just like extremely large, and the stalks look amazing. I'm gonna have a whole area just of bamboo.
See, I hate bamboo.
What?
Because it gets away from you so quickly. Well, you can always cut it back, but like, next thing you know, it's just like taking over your island.
Oh, I see what you mean. It just
starts growing. Like, you come back the next day, and here's like a couple more shoots, like here and there.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I get that. If you put a fence around it this time, I think it'll probably be okay. But gosh, I was so excited about the difference in model. The bamboo looks completely different from the bamboo we had in New Leaf.
See, in my mind's eye too, I've already been messing around and tinkering with, okay, this is where I want to put my house. Because when I do have the ability to unlock the construction, this is what I want to do with it. And these are the things that I want to do. So immediately I've already started playing with those ideas of like, this is where I want to take things. I think that this is something that, honestly, I think this is a game that I'm not even looking at. Like, I don't know about you, but I put at least 600 hours into New Leaf.
I think mine was in like the 2,000 range. So yeah, I completely understand.
I could easily double or triple that. I could double or triple my time because I feel like this is something that, I know me, I can literally, like, I'll probably put a couple hundred hours in the first week because I took a week off from work and I plan on just playing it all the time, like stream. Like, I can see 10-hour play sessions like it's nobody's business.
Sure.
It's just crazy. Like, man. Was there, I mean, other than the terraforming, was there anything that like took you by surprise, or other than that, like something else that was like, oh my god, this is something that I wanted?
One thing that all right, a couple of things. Number one was the fact that we're now getting our holidays as free updates. Now, I know that they probably did that because it's deterring time traveling, because if you want to try and go and get your Christmas set early, guess what? You can't do it because Toy Day is not in there yet. Another thing was the traveling on the tours to the different islands. If you have not been able to acquire like a peach for your town and you've got all the fruits or what, all you got to do is go on this tour, get to an island that has a peach you take with you, and you start growing peach trees on your town. I mean, it's great. And same, I think the way that those things are working too is you can go to towns with different seasons. So instead of waiting for the whole year to loop around if you missed a bug, you can go to a town that's around that season. I hope I'm right on this because otherwise I was completely mistaken on this. But if you missed a fish or you missed a bug, just go to the town or go to the island that's in fall, that you missed, and you can catch it that way in order to complete your collection.
The one thing that I'm curious about is if we're going to be able to change hemispheres whenever we want.
That's a good question.
Or if it's locked in at whatever you pick is what it is, and that's it.
I would have to say it probably will be.
Yeah, you're not gonna wait, because it's almost like time traveling to something.
Unless you completely delete your island and your save file and start anew, I don't think that you're going to be able to switch, probably.
It's going to be tough for me.
Yes. The fact that we have hemispheres now, it's come a long way. We've never had 2 hemispheres before.
Well, because before you would go to somebody who was Australian, and it was still like whatever time of year it was. Which probably threw them off a little bit because it was all dictated upon the northern hemisphere.
Right. Australia's been playing summer, and their summer has been in June when normally their summer's in December.
Yeah, so that's got to be, craziness. I'm back and forth. Part of me wants to go southern hemisphere, but then I go, there's nothing to do in the winter is the worst.
That's just it. I was complaining originally about the fact that they delayed the game for so long. And I was like, why didn't they do this at the end of 2019 at least? And I was like, but wait, at least when they're doing it on March 20th, that's literally the first day of spring. And we have no more snow on the ground. And we actually have things to do and bugs to catch and fish to catch. And we're not sitting and waiting for winter to pass by before we can actually do something.
Would that matter now?
It wouldn't. But we didn't know that at the time.
I know. At the time, I thought the same thing as you. I go, I don't want it in the fall. We're going into the winter time. There's nothing to do. No bugs to catch. No fish to catch. Like there is, don't get me wrong. But it's like the numbers are so small. Yeah.
You have like maybe a dung beetle and maybe a yellow perch, and that's it.
And a sea bass, of course.
God.
They're dumb things. Ugh. But the thing is, though, is like, it feels like in the spring and the summer, every time you cast out, you're pulling up a new fish.
New thing, yeah.
And it's like, this is amazing.
I think there's like 20 different fish at any given time in June.
Yeah. Now, that's something I'm curious about. Do you think we're getting expanded stuff with fish and bugs?
So there was an expansion in New Leaf. We got new fish that we hadn't had before. The Napoleon fish was like something that I'd never seen before, and I was terrified. When I actually pulled it up, I was like, what is that?
I know, it's so cool, though.
So, yes, I hope that we do get a lot of cool, new, interesting entries in the bug and fish department. And the deep sea diving thing, we just had our first assortment of those for New Leaf because deep sea diving was just a thing that was introduced then. So, it'd be interesting to see if we can get some more creepy crawlies.
Well, that's the thing that people are really... I've seen it brought up numerous times, and even Joey Splash just said it now in the chat. He's wondering about diving, like... People are kind of freaking out, like, are we going to have diving? But I think
so.
I think that's something they're bringing back. I can't see that they would take that away.
Sure, bringing it in for one installment and then not bringing it back. I'm sure there's going to be wetsuits and the diving, and you're going to have a certain amount that you can go out into the sea, and then that's it. Or maybe Cap'n is going to take you out into the deeper waters.
That would be interesting.
And you can go deep sea diving there.
Here's my question. Do you feel like this is the last that we've heard of Animal Crossing till the release?
I think they may touch on it there's a rumored full direct. I think they may touch on it just saying, hey, by the way, we had this direct. If you're interested in that information, here's some more coming out. But until we're less than a month away now, I don't think we're going to hear anything aside from what they say on the Twitter feed, because they're like, please follow me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't see any big announcements coming out.
Are you okay with that, or would you want more information?
I'm beyond hyped enough for this game right now. I think any more is probably going to send me into like an aneurysm.
That's the thing with me. Like, I'm very happy with the amount of information we were given yesterday. That I don't feel like I have to have more. I mean, I know there's a few questions that people will want to answer, but I feel like everything that had to be answered they answered.
Sure. Yep. I think they did a great job of just being completely thorough. And had it gone, like I said, I was surprised it was as long as it was. I think it was above and beyond what we needed to know.
Yeah. I'm pretty...
If it were longer, I'd be happy. Sure. But
the idea that we can actually go back into our New Leaf stuff and pull patterns out of that.
Do you have any idea how many QR codes I downloaded from Japanese artists?
Oh my God.
Hundreds.
Yeah, they did some of the most amazing stuff. Like,
I had this amazing trench coat pattern. It was just, the regular shirt, but she made it look like a trench coat with a gorgeous like top underneath. And the first thing I'm doing is I'm going back in and I'm getting that because that was my go-to outfit for fall.
It's pretty crazy. I did get I guess I could pull this up a little bit. I did get a press release from Nintendo yesterday, and I went through it pretty thoroughly to see, like, is there anything, like, new features. Some of the new features are listing is obviously Life on an Island,
right?
And it's going through the whole breakdown of that. DIY, which is, I feel like the DIY could potentially turn into something very big, and I think that it could turn into a DLC thing for Nintendo.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Whether you do it through free updates or if you do it as a DLC package that you download in installments, I see them introducing new furniture and new do-it-yourself craft projects through DLC. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Because they're basically saying right now that, like, hey, here's some items that you'll be able to craft when you unlock the recipes.
Right.
But it's also saying, like, you'll buy stuff that you can't craft. So I wonder if they'll give you the ability to, like, either... Because I feel like the nice thing about this is if there's things that we really want and we petition them to some degree to, like, say, like, hey, this would be awesome, this would be awesome, they might add it to updates in the future. And what I mean by that is if you buy an item and you go, man, I would like this thing to be red rather than black. Like they had the punching bag, the body bag in the
right,
and that's black. Be like, man, but I really want this thing to be red. Can I change it? Like, that would be kind of cool if they go, hey, now you could do your DIY thing and everything is customizable.
Yes.
Like, there's certain things that they could do like that I think would be pretty cool.
Sure. I mean, it can even get to the nitty gritty insofar as for certain items, you probably, oh gosh, like, can you imagine paying 59 cents in order to unlock customization for a certain item?
Yeah.
And if you want to do the Rococo set in a whole different color scheme and you pay up front, the per item, however many cents that is, now that's money grabbing.
Yeah, I don't want that.
But,
I don't want that.
No. But I'm saying it's a business model, and they could technically do it and make a killing.
I'm hoping that they don't. I'm hoping that they just look at this thing and go, like, hey, we're going to do what we typically do with Animal Crossing. We're going to give you some DLC content. We're going to give you some items free. We're going to drop them in randomly. I wouldn't mind if they were like, hey, we're going to bring back the model of show up at Best Buy between these dates, and we're going to have a free content thing there for you to get. Because that was cool.
That was really cool.
Although the items were so stupid.
Who did that aside from Animal Crossing, though? There was another game that did that, and I remember... Maybe it was Pokemon. I might be confusing it with Pokemon. But anyway, yeah, I do remember getting the special items per month.
So the conversation is there's a conversation happening in the chat, and I'm just curious.
Oh boy.
Island names. Do you know what you're going to call your island?
I do.
What are you going to call it?
Because my New Leaf town was Amarina, which was a shortened version of a lovely name that I'd always just loved. Like, if there were a place that I could ever go to, I would want it to be called this. And now that we have 10 characters, it fits perfectly. So my town's name, and it works well with an island, is going to be Aquamarina.
Oh my lord.
Aquamarina Island.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
So I'm torn because every time that I've made a town, I've always named it Gotham because I love Batman.
Yeah.
But because this is an island, I'm tinkering with the idea of calling it Arkham.
Ooh, so, I think that's a great idea.
I think that's what I'm going to name it. I'm not 100%
That's fantastic.
Sure. So I think that's what I'm going to wind up doing. But it's Oh, there's so much that I want to do with this game. Like, I just want this thing now. I
I
cannot
know.
wait for this game. Like,
I
it
know.
is. Have you done anything? Are you doing anything special for this? Like, what's going to be your ritual to do to?
Well, I'm taking the
launch.
day. I'm taking the day off.
Okay.
I've already pre-ordered the new Switch and the leaf carrying case. That's coming, the week before.
Yes.
But that will be completely in preparation. I'm gonna go pick it up at Best Buy at 10 o'clock when they open. Jeez, my husband says I'm still a fan of the Duchy of Roe for a name. He thinks that the word duchy, like, it makes me laugh. So. He calls me Ro for short. Anyway, I just saw that in the chat. That's adorable. Yeah, I'm going to be taking off I'm debating taking off the Monday after too, because I don't know, man. I feel like I'm going to need way more than just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday is going to go by like that. I'm going to blink and it's going to be nighttime already.
Mm-hmm. I took a vacation. I took a whole week. I took from the 19th to the 26th off.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's
I'm
such a
ready.
good idea.
I'm so ready.
I'm not going to be able to sleep the 19th. That's the problem. I'm going to have to drug myself up on sleeping pills or something.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to
Yes.
be awesome. I can't. I really. This is the thing that, like, Animal Crossing fans know. Like, this is 7-8 years in the making. Like, I wanted on the Wii U so bad, and it never happened.
Yep.
And then I remember when I used to just say, like, it would be so cool if, like, I could play on the Wii U. Like, I could play New Leaf on the Wii U, and then when I go away, take my 3DS with me and go away, and it's the same town.
Yep.
I got what I wanted, to
Switch.
some degree. And it's like, this is just fantastic. I did get the well, I got two of the Switches. One we're giving away. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm giving one away to anybody that's following me on Twitch. The
Yep.
13th, we're going to do a giveaway. So if you're not following me on Twitch, now would be the time to follow me on Twitch.
You're on it.
Yeah, we're gonna give one away, and then of course the other one's mine, and I'm not even. That'll be my. Seventh
Yeah,
Switch.
yeah. Because are you getting the Coral one too? That's coming out.
Yes, I'm gonna wind up.
Coral
getting it.
is.
I'm not
just
gonna
so,
pre-order it. I'm just gonna walk in the store and buy it.
It's so pretty. I mean, it goes so well with the others. But I was debating not even taking it out of the box. It's so pretty. I don't know if I can even. I probably won't even touch the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons, as gorgeous as they are, I don't think I can bring myself to grind them up with my hands.
Yeah.
I wanted to get a Switch Lite just for this, but then when they said no transfer of saves, I stream mostly, and you can't stream with the Lite in the dock. So it just made more sense for me to buy this one. And my husband and I are always fighting over time for the current Switch, and this way it works out.
Yeah, I that's my main thing, is like that will be my main one. That'll be my, like, I'm actually going to make that my primary one.
Right.
Because right now my Switch Lite is my primary one. I don't care no more. Because I'm not going to be able to transfer. That was the main reason why I did. I did the same thing. I was like, I want one Lite that I will take with me and I will use and I will play with at all times when I want to go. And then I'll have my other one. And I'm like, nope, I'm fine with, if that's the rules. That's what you want to make it. No problem. I'm going to have my Animal Crossing Switch. And I don't care. That's going to be my one. Because, I mean, it's not like the thing isn't portable. It's not like it's like this big, and then you're like, oh my god, this is such a pain to carry. Like, it's a legitimate handleable. Like, everybody was carrying that thing around. That's the thing that I think is getting a little blown out of proportion. That's the one that everybody carried around for 3 years and never had a problem. Now suddenly, because the light's out, it's not a portable console anymore.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, come on, Donnie, would you stop?
That's just it. He's like, it's the Switch Lite. Like, everything looks so much better on the Lite. I'm like, but does it really?
Yeah, no, not really.
Does it really?
Not really.
I'm just glad that this will be my first Switch that's, I've just had my original since 3.17. Now I'm going to be having one that's got the upgraded battery life and all that stuff. So I am getting an upgrade.
Yeah,
it's not
that was what I looked at it. Now here's a question, because people were saying this, and I have an answer for it, but I'm just curious what your thoughts are. Are you upset that the game is not packed in this?
Europe's getting it, which, if Europe's getting it, how come we aren't?
But here's the answer, Caro. Europe is getting it the day the game launches. They're not getting it a week ahead.
Oh, well, they're going to have to sit and wait, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have to do updates.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have to do... See, that is a good trade-off. That is a good trade-off. I'd rather have extra time than...
Because you got to transfer all your stuff.
You do. Oh, well.
We're prepared. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, we are.
So did you... I only asked that question because he's in the chat. And I know it's going to grind his gears. It's not even an assumption. It's a dumb assumption. You're going digital with this, right?
No.
You're wait. What?
I'm physical to the bone.
Caro, stop it.
I buy everything physically. Now, what I may do.
Oh, you're killing me.
I told you I was going to go Best Buy, 10 o'clock, pick it up.
Oh
What am I going to do in the middle of the night?
Caro, you're not going to be able to play the game till
10 o'clock, I know.
10 o'clock when? In the morning.
Eastern. Yeah, in the morning.
You're nuts. Stop it.
I know, that's like 10 hours that I couldn't play, right?
Okay, stop. Okay, listen. Here's what we're going to do. Is it because you have to collect the thing?
It is.
Because I bought it physical and I've got it digital.
Okay, so I may do the same thing. I'm getting it cheaper anyway because my Gamers Club Unlocked was still on. I still have my Gamers Club Unlocked through Best Buy at the time that I pre-ordered it. So I'm getting it for like 20% off anyway.
Yeah.
I may do that. Now that you say it.
I would just say, listen, this is what I would say. Or just get it. Your husband's probably like, shut up, Bobby, because he's like, it costs me more money. But because I'm also going to buy the Japanese version.
Oh, really?
Because I want the Japanese text on it.
Right.
So I'm going to import that version. I already bought the digital. It's already sitting on my Switch right now. I can't. It's annoying because every time I turn on my Switch, I see it.
You're able to already do the preload, right?
It's already on there. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, when I click play, it goes and checks the internet to see if I can unlock it.
God dang it.
It's annoying. Trust me. I've already tried a couple times. I'm like, please, somebody screw up and let it go up early.
Now, here's a question. If I have it digitally and physically, if I put the physical cart in there, is it going to read from the same thing regardless?
Why would you do that, though?
I mean,
if you have digital, why would you put the physical cart in there?
I'm just asking.
You just answer come on, stop it.
I want to know. There's something nice about clicking that little cartridge in there.
No, there's not. Let me explain the life of digital. It is very nice to just be able to just play a game. I get it. You collect. I get it. I understand.
I agree, and I play Stardew Valley that way, but I'm still hoping for a Stardew Valley physical so I can put it on my shelf.
Okay, Garrett. It would not be 2 games. Because the save file is on the Switch.
It's per system, yes.
Yeah, it's not on the cartridge. Where New Leaf, it was on the cartridge.
Yes.
So in that case, every time you bought a new cartridge, it was a new town.
Yep.
This case, every time you buy a new Switch, it's a new. Which I'm in great shape. I have 7 Switches, so I have 7 towns potentially that I could build.
Almighty.
That's a bit much.
That's crazy, dude.
That's crazy town. That's what I'm living in. That's why I'm living my island Arkham. So it's just
it fits. It really does.
It fits perfectly.
I'm kind of jealous.
So here we go. Anything else before we wrap up? Anything else that stood out to you from the direct that like you're hyped for?
I think I've touched everything. The amiibo, the landscaping. Oh God, what else did I say? The island hopping.
Yes.
For different seasons.
The tours are amazing.
Yes.
I think the tours are going to be pretty fantastic.
Yep.
The fact that you'll be able to go around, land on these different islands that you don't know what you're up against. Oh, the jumping the small rivers.
I know. Oh gosh, I said that in the ladder that you go up oh God. Just such good improvements.
When that dude was getting chased by the tarantula.
I know.
And then jumps over the river, I'm like, what just
Justice!
happened?
I was like, Justice! Finally, we can escape these tools, you know? Oh gosh, I can't tell you how many times I've been running scared from scorpions and tarantulas.
Oh, they're the worst. I remember the first time I ran one in the wild world, right? And it jumped up and bit me.
The same thing.
And I wound up.
Her to death.
Yeah, but I wound up like knocked out
outside your house.
Outside my house, and I'm like.
My sister did the same thing because she had Wild World before I ever played it, and she came to me in the middle of the night, like, because we would stay up late, and she had to have been 14 at this point. And she came to me and she's, I'm scared. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, a spider bit me and I woke up outside my house. I was like, what? And we actually had to look it up online.
Yeah.
That's a real thing now.
Yeah.
So,
and the scorpions, too, can do it to you, too.
yes. I wonder if we're going to get any more evil bugs.
I like it. I
Black
like it a lot.
widows, maybe?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So, Caro, before we go real quick, just let again people know where they can find you at, where they could track you down, where they can watch you, and all that good stuff.
The Nintendame, one word, on Twitch, on Twitter. I'll be striking up my streaming again soon with the Animal Crossing. So
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
No, I was just saying, yeah.
Okay. So for me, you can follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Peace out, Preston.